Another tense protest outside the Newark ICE detention center. Fights between agents and protesters erupted this past weekend and continue on into today, with some New Jersey lawmakers in the middle of the chaos. Alexis McAdams is also in the middle of the chaos. She's outside that ICE facility for us now. What's happening, Alexis?
Well, so we've seen some clashes throughout the afternoon, and we checked in with you a little bit ago, Sandra, and you saw what the scene was, so it kind of ebbs and flows. But this is the situation. You got these ICE agents that are out here, and they're trying to do their job, but what is going on are these protesters are demanding that this ICE facility here in Newark, and we'll move a little bit closer, this ICE facility here in Newark be shut down because they say the migrants inside are not being treated properly. So New Jersey Democrats, including Senator Andy Kim, are saying that the problem is that they, you can take a look over here, but the problem is that they believe that they are not being fed properly. They think that they're being fed food that's spoiled, so they said there's an ongoing hunger strike. And in the chaos were those New Jersey leaders like Senator Andy Kim and Governor Mikey Sherrill. The senator there appeared to be pepper sprayed at one point after the crowd would not back up. Critics pointing out that elected officials spent their Memorial Day fighting to protect the people inside this facility, a fight they say is far from over.
We're going to continue to fight for their rights, fight for their treatment, and make sure that we can do everything we can to restore our country's rule of law and our belief in our values in immigration.
Okay, so another live look here. You can see the group was actually caught on video in this social media video camera as the security was deciding who could come and go. It was really not security, though. It was really just the people that were pretending they were security, according to DHS. So that's kind of what happens at some of these facilities. You know from seeing it, Sandra, what we covered in Minneapolis, what we covered out in Broadview, Illinois. These guys are out here trying to do their job, and then they get told to get out of here. They get told they're fascists, and then they get told to take off their masks. So one thing I do want to point out that's interesting when you talk to the protesters is they don't want these guys wearing masks, right? They want the ICE agents to take their masks off. They want them out of New Jersey, but they come ready and prepared with their masks, and they say they're not going anywhere. They're trying to run security, and they want all the migrants who are inside that facility, whether they're in the country illegally or not, to be released. Something DHS says is just not going to happen, Sandra.
All right, right there in the middle of all of it. Alexis, we'll check back in shortly. Thank you. All right, Bill.
Sandra, for more on this, we're going to bring in Jonathan Fahey, former federal prosecutor and former acting ICE director. Jonathan, as always, thanks for coming in. Great to see you.
Thank you.
I know you got a lot to say about this one. We'll start with Congressman Andy Kim, the local Democrat out there. He claims that nobody ICE is arresting in New Jersey, nobody in that facility is a criminal. Take a listen.
These are people that are not harming our community. These are not violent criminals. These are not the people that Donald Trump keeps saying that they are trying to lock up.
So if you listen to him, it makes it sound like ICE is just out there arresting grandmas and school children. It's demonstrably false. And DHS posted a list of some of the people they have arrested in New Jersey. Take a look at this list right here. Some pretty heinous crimes here. Jose de la Olaines, wanted for homicide. Another one, sex offense against a child. Another one, enticement of a minor for indecent purposes. Another, sexual assault and resisting arrest. Another, homicide. Jonathan, these are the people that these sanctuary politicians and these activists out there are protecting.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And that's the whole thing about these sanctuary cities. They protect the criminals, keeping them in the community because they operate in jails to keep convicted and arrested criminals from being turned over to ICE. And, you know, we just have to go back, 6 weeks or so to Sheridan Gorman in Illinois, killed because somebody that was let out of a sanctuary city. But it's ironic that Senator Kim is talking about the rule of law when they're doing everything they can to prevent ICE from enforcing immigration law, incidentally passed by Congress. And they're also, incidentally, passing unconstitutional laws in the state of New Jersey trying to prevent ICE agents from masking and other things to do their job.
Some of the images from the Delaney facility have been pretty wild. We're taking a look at some live ones right now. But last night, there were anarchists and protesters out there who were literally setting up their own checkpoint at the entrance to the facility, and they were looking in cars, making sure there weren't illegal immigrants in them before they let them into the facility. It's pretty wild that that was allowed to happen there. In your opinion, do the feds need to up their posture a little bit, maybe get a little bit more aggressive?
Yeah, I think arrests need to be made. You cannot have a situation where you are intimidating ICE agents for simply doing their job. They're not only putting them in danger, but also preventing them from doing their job. The job, incidentally, that they're required to do. And all of this is just all performative. And I think Mark Wayne Mullins had a political stunt. And it's not just coincidental that the shutdown, the Democrats part of it, just ended. And now they're back to last year's tactics, which is raise your profile by how much you fight against ICE.
Congressman Rob Menendez, another Democrat, is also out there. He, too, is claiming that ICE isn't arresting any criminals and not holding any criminals there. Take a listen.
Look at ICE's own data. They are not holding criminals inside these detention centers, right? And they don't want the conversation, the story, focused there, because if that's where we focus the story and all of you focus the story there, I believe you continue to see the disapproval of this administration's handling of immigration rise even further.
So, Jonathan, we already went through the list of some of the criminal aliens that ICE has arrested right there in New Jersey. What's the disconnect here? You constantly have Democrats saying no criminals are being arrested. You've got DHS putting out literal mugshots, names, and rap sheets of people they are arresting. Like, explain the disconnect.
Yeah, the disconnect is they're not being honest with the American people. You know, 70% or so of the people arrested by ICE also have additional criminal offenses, but they're also here illegally to begin with. And ICE detention facilities are for people here illegally. But it's interesting he says that, and yet the Democrats will fight tooth and nail every time they do try to deport somebody that's here illegally and commits another crime, like you just said, with sanctuary cities. So there's a lot of irony to it, a lot of dishonesty to it. But the truth of the matter is the Democrats are for mass amnesty for everyone here, and that's a standard Democratic position, and they won't flat out say it, but really that is their position. There's no other way to look at it, and they will do everything they can to thwart ICE, thwart Donald Trump, and keep every illegal alien in the country.
They may not have to flat out say it because they just flat out refused to fund ICE and CBP since February. Also interesting that Congresswoman LaMonica McIver is out there.
Back again.
Same facility, was arrested and indicted for allegedly assaulting an ICE agent last year. We'll see where it all goes. We got Alexis McAdams out there, but Jonathan, as always, great to see you, and thanks for your insight.
Thank you.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.